you remember goals in Google Analytics, in old analytics? If you want to reminisce, they're still there, even though Universal Analytics may have stopped collecting data. You can still see your goals. And one thing that was pretty cool about goals is that you could set them up to be a funnel. You could just click a couple of buttons and say, I only want this goal to be measured if somebody has come over from another page, and you could put the page in that you wanted people to come from. And that was really cool because that meant a goal wouldn't be triggered if somebody refreshed your thank you page or clicked the back button. But in conversions, in Google Analytics 4, there is no button that you can click. No button. How annoying is that? I found it very annoying. So I went looking for a solution, and I think I found one. Well, I have found one. And if you want to do something similar, you can follow this tutorial, but you will need to have Tag Manager already. You will need to have your Google Analytics added to your Tag Manager to make this happen. But if you have that, you can create this bit of funnel magic. In Tag Manager, you need to set up two things. Firstly, you need to set up a trigger, and a trigger fires when something that you define actually happens on your website. And secondly, you need a tag, and it's the tag that connects the trigger to Google Analytics and says, hey, Google Analytics, this just happened. Make sure you add that to the dashboard. So let's start by creating the trigger. Click on Triggers on the left-hand side, click on New, and start by giving your trigger a name. And this should be something that you will know what it means later on. Under Trigger Configuration, click on Page View, and now select Some Page Views. Now, in this first section, we want to add the referral page, the page that people have to visit before they get to the thank you page to make it a conversion. So you want to go in, and you probably got less stuff going on here than me. So there's referrer and contains. I'm going to leave that as is. And then I'm going to go into the page, that's the referral page that I want people to come from. And I want to copy just the part of the link that comes after spiderworking.com/. I'm going to paste that in here. Great, so that's my first stage done. That's the page that I want people to come from before we trigger the conversion on the thank you page. So now I'm going to click on plus to add a new section, a new condition. And from here, I'm going to choose page URL. Leave that as contains again. And this time I'm going to my thank you page. This is the page, the final page that people land on after they filled it in. And the same way as before, I'm just going to copy the bit after the spiderworking.com/. And I'm going to paste that in. So you can see what this is telling me is that the referrer, so the page that we come from, contains this within its link, and the page URL that they land on, so the thank you page, contains, and I've got that piece of the URL in there as well. So that's actually my trigger configured. I can click on save. Now that's a complicated bit done. Now you need to connect the trigger to Google Analytics so that Google Analytics can see it, and you do that with a tag. So we'll go into tags, click on new, give it a name. So here I like to include the fact that it's GA4 and that it's a conversion tag. Choose the tag type, and from here we're going to select Google Analytics and Google Analytics GA4 event. Select your configuration tag. So this is your Google Analytics 4 tag, the bit that's on your website. If you don't have that here, you'll need to create it. I'm going to give the event a name. So we'll call it Analytics Day Conversion. And just to mention as well that if you are going to separate the words within your event name, they must be underscores. It won't recognize spaces or dashes. So you can either have it all as one word, or if you're going to separate it, use the underscore. And now we just need to add that trigger that you created. So if I click on that, you should be able to find it. It's alphabetical here, so we can see that. And then click save. That's the hard work done. Next, we need to make sure that it's working properly before we publish it to your website. So if we click on preview here, that will open up a tag assistant window. You can see it with this blue tag at the top. So firstly, I want to make sure it's not firing just when people arrive on the thank you page. So I'm going to go and grab the link, the full link this time, to my thank you page and paste that in here and hit enter. Now that will either open up that page in a new window or a new tab. It's a new tab for me, and you'll see that it will say on that window that Tag Assist is connected, and the Tag Assistant window is still there, but now it's flashing blue. So if you go into that, click on the continue button, you can now see which tags have actually fired on that page. So you can see I've got various tags, including my original tag that just clocks the thank you page. And underneath I can see the ones that didn't fire. And there we can see test GA4 Google Analytics form hasn't fired. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. We only want that tag to fire if somebody goes to the form page before they arrive on the thank you page. So now it's time to test that. So now we know that that bit works. We know that it's not firing if you just arrive on the thank you page. So now we want to make sure that it does fire when somebody comes from that referral page, the landing page. So again, I'm going to click preview, but this time instead of linking to the thank you page, I'm going to link to that referral page. Click on connect. Again, here we can see it's connected. If I go back into my blue flashing tag, just double checking before I do anything that it hasn't fired yet, and it hasn't fired yet, so that's good. Still down here. So now in that debug window, I want to fill in this form. And once the thank you page is loaded, if I go back into my Tag Assist window, I can see that my new tag has fired. So it's all working correctly. I can close out of these windows now. And the final thing to do here in Tag Manager is to click submit, and that actually publishes it to your website. So I'm almost finished now. There's just one more thing to do. You need to tell Google Analytics that this new event that will be coming in is actually a conversion event. And to do that, you're going to need the name that you gave that tag that you just created. So here I can see it's Analytics Day Conversion. If I copy that and go into the admin panel in my Google Analytics, go into conversions, click new conversion event, and all I need to do is paste in that name and click save. And that will tell Google Analytics that when it notices an event with that name coming in, that is a conversion event. And now you're done. You can be confident that your conversion events are more accurate than they were before you did this. You will know that they are only going to fire when somebody comes from a page to your thank you page. You will know that they haven't been a result of someone refreshing a page or somebody clicking the back button. And actually, you could do this for way more complicated stuff. Like if you only have one thank you page, you could work out different conversion events based on the page that they came to that thank you page for. But that's for another tutorial. I also have a video which I'm going to link to below, which shows you a new counting method that you can use in your conversions, again, just to make sure that the conversion count is accurate.